some breaking news for baseball umpire Joe West. We don't really talk about sports officials, Mario, but this one's very important. He broke the record for the most games umpired in MLB history with 5,376 of them. The previous record was held by Hall of Fame umpire Bill Klem, who held the record since 1941, and that record was 5,375. So he also broke the record last night against the White Sox and St. Louis Cardinals. The White Sox won that game 8-3. And we all know who Joe West is. You know, he's 68 years old. He's been in this game since 1976. He's been here for a very, very long time, Mario. But he's very controversial. You know, he's not really known for being the best of umpires. You know, a lot of fans don't really take too fond of his calls. He's kind of like Angel Hernandez, only he's not as bad as him. You know, you want to talk bad umpires, let's talk Angel Hernandez. But this isn't about Angel Hernandez. Tony La Russa called him the perfect guy to set the record because he represents a lot of what umpires should be, which even though, I got to be honest, even though Joe West doesn't make the best calls, he's a very enjoyable guy to have around. You know, he has a great sense of humor. He likes to interact a lot with the players. And I like that. You know, I like to see that the officials actually like to interact with other people as well. Some umpires are just very serious and they don't like to be too talkative, but he likes to interact with the players, and I do like to see that. Russo also said he's very consistent and he keeps control of the game, and that's what an umpire is supposed to do. And I have a quote from Joe West himself. He said, and I quote, "It was tough to hold back a tear or two, but Tom, there is no crying in baseball, so you can't do it." And in case if you don't know where that line came from, it came from the iconic baseball movie called The League of Their Own, which you have not seen that movie. You better go watch it, right? You better stop watching this video now and go watch that movie. It's a very great one. And MLB officials were in attendance in the game along with his friends and family. And get this, Mario, this was really cool. Joe West bought 116 tickets for that game. So that's really cool, Mario. I like how he did that. And he also said that it'll be the most expensive game I've ever umpired. So it goes to show you that he still has a nice sense of humor. And before I pass on to you, Mario, I just want to say this article was written by Jesse Rogers from ESPN. So you start off first. What do you think of Joe West breaking the record?
I mean, well, first of all, congratulations to Joe West. I mean, obviously, you know, that is the one umpire. I think that's probably the most notoriable umpire in the game, obviously, for a very, very long time. You know, this record-breaking game, man, it had a lot. It really did. It had a lot for Joe West. So basically, in this game day, the famed San Diego Chicken gave him fake flowers, and the video board announced his record. And Oak Ridge Boys, they sang the national anthem to his request, and then boos started coming on West, which I thought was kind of funny because obviously, like you said, he's the most controversial. And then there was a montage of current and former umpires congratulating him, including a message from country singer Garth Brooks. So let me tell you something, Nate. That proves to you how famed Joe West is. You know, you may like him, you may hate him, but one thing's for certain: he is the most notoriable MLB umpire there probably has ever been. It's as simple as that. No doubt about it. He's probably going to be a future Hall of Famer. And he said another quote, and this is basically about his longevity. He said, "I know what Lou Gehrig said about being the luckiest guy in the world, but that's me." And that's basically all he said about it. And then it's kind of weird that he compared like his umpire like record to Lou Gehrig, but it is kind of similar because both of them have been doing what they did in their professions for a very, very long time. But yeah, Nate, I mean, Joe West, you know, as fans, we love him, we hate him. He makes controversial calls. You know, we might get mad at him. He'll make calls in our team's favor. We might love him. You know, it's a love-hate relationship with Joe West. But at the end of the day, you cannot deny he is a future Hall of Famer when it comes to being an umpire. Again, the man started in 1976 and he is still going strong in 2021. So I got to give him a lot of credit right there, you know. So, you know, obviously when it comes to umpires, Nate, and Joe West, there's not a lot for me to say. The only thing I could really say is, you know, I wish Joe West the best of luck in many, many more games in the future. And again, congratulations to him on breaking the record.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, congratulations to Joe West. Very well deserved. One thing I find interesting, Mario, Tony La Russa started coaching 3 years after Joe West started umpiring. Joe West started umpiring in 76 and La Russa started coaching in 79. So I find that pretty interesting as well, Mario. So they've known each other for quite a long time. You know, Tony La Russa has been around the game for a very, very long time as well. So it makes sense that they two have a connection. But yeah, Mario, Joe West, he does a good job, but sometimes he doesn't. But one thing I like, again, like I mentioned before, is that he has a sense of humor. He likes to stay interactive with the players, even though sometimes he makes calls that we all might not agree with. But you also got to look at it like this, okay? Not every umpire is perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some umpires make calls that we don't like, and that some of them miss some calls. Some of them are blatantly obvious. Others aren't.
Right. A lot of umpires, they have their own certain box too.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as a certain umpire, because the perfect umpire, because they all have a different box and they all officiate a game differently.
Right, absolutely, and it's not just umpires; it's refs in all different kinds of sports. They're all different, and not all of them are perfect. And sometimes, like as a player myself, like I get mad at some calls, but at the end of the day, it's like the more mad I'm going to get at that, the less I'm going to focus on my objective, because I'm going to be more worried about what this guy is going to ring me up or bring the batter up or whatever the case might be. But at the end of the day, I still got a job to do. So as a player, I do get mad at that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it but do your job. That's it. But as for Joe West, overall, despite other than those controversial games and calls that he's made, he's done a really good job with his career. And I do wish him the best of luck moving forward. This record definitely gonna be hard to break, given that this record took 80 years to break. So the record hasn't been broken ever since 1941, and now it's been broken. So that's 80 years exactly. Wow, I was spot on that one. But yeah, with that being said, congratulations to Joe West and best of luck to you moving forward, and we'll see what happens, Mario.